What is going on, guys? This is Versatile Gaming with my review of Tokyo Ghoul episode 3. And this episode, it might not have as much action as the first episode did, especially when it came to the ghouls. But overall, this episode, it was definitely enjoyable. And I do like how our story here is progressing. But the episode itself, it starts off where we have this doctor. And he's having disappointment right now with like one of his patients, and we see now that when that was over and the guy actually leaves, we see now that when the doctor calls for the next one, we see that his former patient, he is now forced back inside because the door it like fell into pieces, and we just see this man, he like scratched up, and I also believe that he like bleeding from his head. And the one that was like responsible for this, it was this gentleman that was wearing this white suit, and for some reason we did not see this man's face, nor did we see the doctor face. So that right there was a bit weird, but I'm guessing that they had some reason for not showing their faces. But this man right here, he actually wants the doctor to do something for him, and we see that while they were talking, you just see the guy like cracking his fingers one by one. So it was definitely like he was planning something, but luckily the doctor, he does accept this job, and we see now that the man leaves. But when he does, we see that his wife and his daughter, they were hiding at first, and so when this guy came, or when he left, I just say, that right there is when they came out, and you could just see that his wife, she was like definitely concerned about what was going on. And so now we go to Kaneki, and we see now that he kind of like going through this ghoul training, because this older man, I really have to learn his name, but he teaching Kaneki how to make coffee, and it does seem to be going well, because even though his coffee was not as good as the older man was, you know, when he served him back in episode 2, it was at least, you know, good to him because he was drinking it, so that was a good thing. And so we also learned that this man, he uses his own cafe kind of like for a safe haven for ghouls, because it's where they can all come together. And of course we already know that he also serves human customers as well, because he likes humans, because they are, you know, living textbooks to them, and so they do have to study them, and you know, like to blend in. So it does make sense why he would serve them. But I do believe that when he said that he likes humans, I believe that it was like more in a genuine matter, not that, you know, he likes eating them. But now we see that when Kaneki, when he goes down to start working, we see that Hide is there, so he's back in, and he's now back on his feet, so he's all better. We see now that he came there to thank Toka, because apparently he thinks that Toka has saved him, Kaneki, and Nishio from like this horrible accident. And so that right there is what they're like running with, and I can see why, because obviously he cannot find out that they're ghouls, so it makes a lot of sense. And we also learned that Nishio, he is fine, but he is in the hospital, but he only came out of there with like with only a few scratches. So like I said in my last review, I definitely knew that we were not done with him, but I am surprised with how easily, you know, he came out only with a few scratches. So I do wonder how fast did his body heal, because Kaneki definitely did a number on him. But now we have Hide leaving, and we have Toka here giving Kaneki a warning about making sure that Hide never finds out that he's a ghoul, or even about them, because if he does, then the Toka will like kill him on the spot. And that right there, I definitely believe. I know she would not play around when she said that, but I know that either Hide knows that keeping it a secret, because we saw him, you know, opening his eyes, you know, in last episode after Kaneki and Yo got closed the door. So I definitely think that he knows, but he probably won't say anything till Kaneki is like forced to tell him, pretty much. But now we see that the woman and the daughter from the beginning, they have now come there, and it seems that the Toka is like close to them, but more importantly, that they're close to the man that actually, you know, runs this cafe. And so now we see that that pretty much they are going to watch over, you know, that little girl, and I believe her name was pronounced what's the name? Hamani, something like that. I'm probably saying it wrong, but you guys definitely know who I'm talking about. Oh, Hinami, I believe that was it. I believe that was her name. But now they'll be watching her, and I do wonder what's going to happen, you know, with the wife. Like, maybe she'll stay with her husband, and possibly, you know, they both might be killed. I'm not really sure, but I just know that they were actually going to watch over this girl. And so throughout the episode, we kind of have Toka. Now, even though I like the character, I will not deny that she was definitely acting like a huge bitch toward Kaneki for like most of it. But we actually learn or we get more information about those two guys that we saw at the end of last week, because we have Toka asking Kaneki if he heard about those bag carriers, and so we learned that these two men, Mado and Amon, they are a part of the organization called the CCG, I believe that was it. But they are pretty much like this special force that are trying to rid Tokyo of every single ghoul. And we see now that these two, Amon and Mado, they are very special because they carry around these metal briefcases. And I noticed that during that little meeting that they had, I believe that Mado was the only one that we saw that we saw with one. Now I could be wrong about that because there are probably others, but right now we're like focusing on Mado and Amon. And so now because of that, we see now that this guy, Mado, apparently, you know, he like rather well known in the organization, because we have the one guy that will have this meeting kind of like talking to him personally. And so now we see that Mado actually wants this meeting to come to an end rather quickly, so he could go out there and hunt more ghouls. And so now we learn that Mado and Amon, they will now be in charge of the 20th ward. And we all know that ward right there is where Kaneki, Toka, and everybody else is. So right now, these two are pretty much just like major threats that they have to worry about. So after the meeting was over, like, we see now that they are definitely going to start getting to work. But we go back to Kaneki, who have received like these like brown sugar like cues from the older man. And so apparently he was saying that if he used these in his coffee, it will control his hunger to some degree. So we all know, you know, what's in there, and it's obviously that, you know, it's like a little bit of human remains, because Kaneki asked him what was in there, but obviously, you know, he said it's better that he doesn't know that. But now we see that the older man, he wants Kaneki to go out on this food pickup. So obviously, you know, Kaneki thinking, you know, the worst of the worst, that he'll actually have to go out there and possibly kill somebody, because we all know that right there is like one thing that he can't do just yet, unless it's another ghoul, because I'm pretty sure that he definitely was like trying to kill Nishio last week. But overall, you know, like, normally this right here is something that Toka would normally do, but because she's like busy studying for a test, that's why he has Kaneki going on this. And I also forgot that apparently we have Kaneki also going through like this food training as well, because we saw the older man, he had made like these sandwiches for him, but when Kaneki took a bite of it, he obviously couldn't eat it, and we saw him, you know, puke it right up. But then we saw the older man as well, he took a bite, and it seemed like he was eating like it was nothing. But we learned what they do is they make it seem like they eat it, so they take like 10 bites of it. But of course, you know, they have to like puke it up. They have to puke it up before they start dissolving it, because if they don't, then that right there will just, you know, make their health, you know, go down, or like make it much worse. So that right there, it's like a nice little trick. But I do wonder how long will it take Kaneki to like perfect these techniques so that he could kind of fit in back into a normal life. I'm definitely, you know, wondering about that, because I definitely don't want to be instant. I am glad that he's like struggling now with it, because it definitely shows his character, you know, developing. So of course, I do want to see a progress, and I do hope they like show a role. I just don't want them to like skip through it. But now we see that right now he going food shopping with this guy called Yomo. This right here, what was our first time seeing him. But to be honest, you know, with that white hair, it does remind me of the opening where we see Kaneki with it, because they were like even wearing, you know, the same exact coat. So I'm not sure what's up with that. Like maybe they will become close or something, but I really have no idea. But now we see they like go to this highway road, and we see now that on the platform they were on, that was like protected by this railing, you can tell that the metal, it was like very rusted. And so we have Kaneki leaving on that, and even though we have Yomo, you know, like warning him, it was just far too late, and we just see Kaneki, he is now falling, and obviously that is it's not looking good. But we see now that I'm guessing you call this like his tentacles or whatever. We see now that they come out, and they're like grabbing onto the wall to like slow him down, and that right there, you know, actually, you know, saved his life, because I'm pretty sure that fall right there would have killed him even if he is a ghoul. But now that both him and Yomo were down there, we see now that this dead body is what they're gonna use for their food. So we actually learned that a lot of people actually died on that road that they were on. So they actually don't really kill people; they just eat up people that are already dead. You know, people that committed suicide. So that right there is actually a pretty good thing, because I was wondering how in the world would they get food, because I definitely know that Kaneki, he can't kill nobody. And there's probably no way that he'll just sit on the sideline and watch this other guy kill people. But this character Momo, he's actually pretty unique, because we saw him actually praying for the person that was dead already. So that right there was like really nice and respectable of him. But now we go back to Mado and Amon here. We see now that Mado was actually walking, and we see that this one ghoul kind of like stalking him. But this ghoul here, he would not sneak at all, because you could just hear him, you know, like making all these noises. And so when he actually attacked Mado, like he was just brought down in an instant. Now I'm not sure how Mado, you know, actually, you know, hurt the ghoul, because we just saw him, you know, swing that metal briefcase, and this guy was just all cut up. So I have no idea, you know, how he did that. But we see now they kind of like Amon fault, because he was just a moment too slow. But now that this ghoul was already weakened, we see them now, you know, asking him if he's seen that metal wrench that was used in the first episode. But of course he had no idea about that, and so they just killed him off. So these guys, they have no problem killing ghouls, and we even see Amon, you know, calling them scum. So obviously that right there is how low they think of them. And to be honest, I don't blame them for that, because they kind of are. But now because of the recent ghoul attacks with Amon and Mado about, we see now that the old guy that actually, you know, runs the bar, he thinks that it's about time that the Kaneki actually had his own mask. And so now we see that he gets Toka, you know, take him there. And of course at first Toka definitely did not want to do it, because we see now that that right there was like Toka's day off, and so of course because of that, she did not want to spend that, you know, like showing him around. But now we see Toka's scary side come out, because she said that if he was late, then she'll kill him, and that right there was funny. But Toka is pretty awesome, and so that right there, you know, I should definitely got a chuckle out of that, even though it was like her dark side coming out. But we see now that on that day, you know, where they had to meet up, Kaneki was like waiting for her, and she thought that nobody Toka appeared and like kicked him from behind. And so now we see that they actually go to the person that would like make him the mask. And at first they couldn't find him, but when Kaneki had like lifted up this sheet that was like covering something, we see now that it was this guy that would like make his mask, and his name was Yuta. And this guy right here, he is a very unique character. That right there, I gotta say, because this guy is weird, but he is not bad like I thought he would be. Because from the opening, I thought that this guy right away would like be evil or something, because he like gave off that vibe. But that right there, I'm completely wrong about. And so now we see that like Yuta, he makes all these masks for like these ghouls. And apparently, you know, the reason why some ghouls, you know, wear these masks is because that if they ever run into people like Amon and Mado, you definitely do not want them to see your face, which is why, you know, Kaneki, you know, wants this mask. And so now we have Yuta asking all these questions, and like some of them are like definitely funny, but pretty much Yuta here is gonna make his mask. And so now we learn what both Yuta and Kaneki really think about Toka. And I definitely agree, you know, with what Yuta said, because Toka is definitely a hard worker. Like not only is she a ghoul, but she is like fitting into human society perfectly. That right there is one thing nobody can deny, because it's definitely hard for her, because she can't eat anything, and I'm pretty sure people at school, you know, like I'm pretty sure she has friends or something. So probably at lunch, you know, when they do have to eat, I'm pretty sure it would be weird if she like took a bite and you know, like a little bite, and that was it. So Toka is definitely a hard worker, because she had to put herself out there, because it's a huge risk. Because like I said, like Yuta said, if somebody even suspect you a little bit, it's all over for you. So she's always accepting that risk, and she's always going out there and putting herself in danger. So that right there, I should give her respect for that. And so now after they were done with that, we see that while they were walking, we have Kaneki asking Toka about that girl and about her mother as well. And they really did go into that much detail about it, like I hope they would. But Kaneki is definitely stepping up, because he wants to do something. I'm pretty sure that he is tired of feeling like useless, so he wants to go out there and do whatever he can. And so now when we go back to the cafe, and he walks in on that girl, we see that she was actually eating, and I'm not sure what it was, because I do believe that they actually, you know, censor that out. But we just saw that like Kaneki wasn't shocked, and she like fell to the ground as he backed off, and that right there, you know, it like was pretty funny to see that though. And so now that he left, we have this new guy that I'm pretty sure that we haven't seen before, because I have no idea who he is. But he was telling Kaneki that, you know, that he was kind of wrong for doing that, because no girl wanted to see a guy eating that way, especially, you know, by being a ghoul as well. So he had made a cup of coffee so that Kaneki could like give it to her and also apologize. And so when he does go in there, we see now that this girl, her eyes are back to normal. And we see that, you know, they start talking, because she's curious as to why he smells so different, because normally she can smell another ghoul a mile away, but to him, you know, he was different. So Kaneki, you know, tells her the truth about how he like a ghoul in body but a human in mind. And so that right there, you know, she kind of feel bad about for asking, so she apologizes to him. But you know, it's like Kaneki does not mind that. And so now when Kaneki notices the book she's reading, we see now that they like bond over that. And so pretty much they were like some words that she had no idea what they mean or how to pronounce them. So Kaneki was like teaching her, and after that we see her now writing them down, because she does not go to school. So whatever she learns, she like writes it down in a notebook. And I definitely like, you know, how they like bonding over that. And you just see, you know, like Toka standing outside, she was smiling, so obviously, you know, she's happy about that. And so now the following morning, we see, you know, the little girl Harmony and her mother again. And so I am glad that, you know, that we saw her, because I definitely did not want her, you know, to be dead. But we see now that right now this little girl, she refers to Kaneki as her big brother, and then at the end we also learn that she refers to Toka as her big sister. So right now she is definitely like this little girl is very close with the both of them, and I definitely like how Toka, you know, kind of likes how well they're bonding. But now when it goes to the back area, we just see like this weird guy coming in there out of nowhere. and he's saying that that he can really relax here, and for some reason I just got a very bad vibe from him. But that right there is where the episode ends. So like I said, this episode overall, I definitely enjoyed it. Now we really did not get that much action because we only like the only action we saw was when Mado and Amon, you know, attacked those ghouls, which was like twice, and when they actually let them get away to like lead to another ghoul where they actually finished them off. So that right there was like pretty much the action that we got. But like I said, this episode, it was great when it came to like story progression. So personally, I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. But of course, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. But as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe because that really helps me out. And you guys take it easy. And I will see you all next time.